Georgia survives. LSU wins a thriller, and Notre Dame gets right. It's the week 3 edition of the wrap up show of college football smothered and covered.
You are Locked On College Football, Smothered and Covered, with your host, Barrett Sallee. Your one-stop shop for everything college football. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome in. Thank you for making this your first listen every single day. Really appreciate you guys checking out the show. We are going to wrap up week number 3 right now on college football smothered and covered. A reminder the show brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. That's Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, Georgia and Kentucky just wrapped up. Georgia 13-12 winners in one of the sloppiest games you'll ever see. Kirby Smart said after the game, though, that it's very similar to the game in 2021 when they went to Missouri, played their C minus D plus game and found a way to win. And obviously, we know what happened after that. They won the national championship. Is there a cause for concern with this right now? The answer to me is no. You know that their offense is going to get right. You understand that this is going to turn around. They have too many weapons. They have too many weapons. Now, Tate Ratledge, the injury to him, that's something to monitor. But if a team can go on the road in the hostile environment, Field with Kentucky, and get out of there playing their D plus, totally fine. And this is a situation where Kirby Smart is going to be grinning ear to ear on the way home, on that flight home to Athens, because now he's got a week full of screaming, a week full of yelling, a week full of ripping his team to shreds because they barely beat Kentucky in the SEC opener. They expect better. He expects better. Everybody in the program expects better. And now they're going to hear it, man. They are going to hear every bit of that. I think, though, Carson Beck, I love Carson as a player when things are going right. 15 to 24 for $160. There's pressure in his face. He got sacked, 3 times. They couldn't run the football, and that's the biggest thing. If Carson Beck doesn't get help from his running game, what is he? Is he an average quarterback? Maybe. He might just be an average quarterback or a little bit above average. And that, to me, is the problem with Georgia, and I said this all offseason. I don't believe Trevor Etienne is a true number 1 the way other Georgia backs have been, the way other backfields at Georgia have been constructed. Because you need the 1A and the 1B, right? It's Gurley and Marshall or whatever. You pick the tandem. Caleb King was one of those involved with 4, 5, 6 years ago, whatever. But you have to have an alpha. You have to have a 1A. And, Robinson is being used as the B to cover Etienne's 1A. I don't know if Etienne's ready for that because you have to be able to handle 25 touches a game combined between carries and receptions. You have to be able to pass block. I'm not sure he's ready for that. So if that's going to be the case, Carson Beck better be a game wrecker, and he wasn't on Saturday. Is that a one-off? Yeah, for Carson Beck, but also it's the really only glimpse that we've had where he's been pressed this year, and the defense can sit back and wait for Carson to throw because they can stop the run. There could be an issue. I think they'll be able to figure it out. I know Mike Bobo gets all this grief from Georgia fans, and he has for years. It's unwarranted, but whatever, it exists. things will be fine because I do believe that they'll find a way to make that rushing attack work. Now, is Georgia going to be ranked number one in the AP poll? They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. I think when you've seen what Texas can do, even with Arch Manning subbing in for an injured Quinn Ewers, and we'll talk about that next segment. But you've seen what Texas can do. It's a juggernaut. You've seen what Ohio State can do. That's a juggernaut. Oh, Tennessee, Ole Miss. There are a bunch of teams out there just kicking everybody's tail. Alabama's in too. What has Georgia done this year that is head and shoulders above some of those teams? They've got a pretty good win over Clemson. Also got a 13 to 12 win at Kentucky. I'm all for fluidity in top 25 rankings. And if you have some comments, please leave them, and I'll see if I can get to them at the end of the show. But I'm all about fluidity. Just because Georgia was number one last week does not mean you have to vote for them again number one this week. I think to be the man, you have to beat the man in college football is one of the dumbest things that can be uttered by any person with a functioning brain because all these teams are new, all these rosters are new. But right now, I'll tell you, I would drop Georgia. First of all, I had Texas above Georgia in SEC power rankings anyway. I would put Texas number one. Several teams ahead of Georgia right this very second. Ohio State, Alabama, Ole Miss, Tennessee. I'm not saying in order, but all of them have proven more in my mind. Again, that goes back to something I said at the start of the show. Kirby loves this. Kirby is ripping his team to shreds. It's 11:36 p.m. He did his post-game interview with ABC roughly 15 minutes ago. He has been ripping into his team for the last 13. In his mind, like in the inside movies, Joy is in there pushing all those buttons. Joy's in there pushing. She is dominating Kirby's mind right now. Kirby secretly is very, very happy about this. I apologize for the Disney references. My wife's a Disney travel agent. She can hook you up, by the way. But they got the job done, and this is a giant kick in the ass. And it's the same game they played 2021 at Missouri. I think they won that game 16 to 12, 16 to 13, something like that. You saw what happens. Great coaches get performances like this and use them to their advantage. That's how you sustain success. Coaches who don't handle these situations properly, they fizzle out quickly. That's why guys like Ed Orgeron, that's why they fizzle out after winning national championships. They can't handle the responsibility. They can't handle the downs. They can't handle the potholes. Kirby can do it. They'll be fine. We're going to take a break. We'll talk about Texas, I should say, coming up on the other side. Arch Mania has a little bit about what Saturday's win means for the Texas Longhorns and the quarterback situation coming up on the other side. It's college football smothered and covered, and of course, we are powered by Lock. Show brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. That's the formula for winning championships. Is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything to maintain your vehicle and level peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, LED headlights, and whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed only available for you as customers. The show also brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for your small business, you might find quality professionals that are looking for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, but might be the perfect fit. In a given month, over 70% of users don't visit other leading job sites. If you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions, of course, they Arch Manning time. Every time I see Arch Manning or see the name or we get excited about Arch Manning, I think about Empire. I don't know if some viewers or listeners are mid 40s, early 40s like I am. It's Rex Manning Day. Empire Records. If you have not seen Empire Records, I highly recommend it. It's something that is, I would say, required viewing for anybody who is 30 years of age or older. It will make sense to younger crowds, but if you're my age, it makes sense. Okay. Quinn Ewers goes out, an abdominal injury. So, Arch, it's just Arch Manning, whatever. He's going to come in. He's going to do, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. 223 yards, 5 total touchdowns, 1 rushing. One was on the first play. When all this was going down, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, takes are going to be flying. The Arch Manning takes are going to be flying. We just had an ad for eBay Motors. I hope they have good brakes. And I know they do because we are using them right now to slow down the Arch Manning. He's not starting. He's not his job. Yes, he's a player, and that's awesome that we got to see that. But we're only going to get to see that if something's wrong with Quinn. They're not going to go in practice week fighting for a job again. Quinn has been Sark's guy for almost 2 years. He was named the starter after Arch's first spring. There's no question, and that's mine, that Quinn is not the guy. He led them to a college football playoff last year. He's beaten Alabama on the road by double digits. He came within 1 pass of going to the national championship game, and there's nothing that he has done this year that should change that. We talk a lot about getting Wally Pitts, and this conversation came up with DJ Lagway and Graham Mertz for Florida. Totally different situation. Yes, Lagway's a superstar. Young kid, Arch is a superstar, although he's older. But the buzz around those 2 guys are the same. The reasons for playing them are not. Graham Mertz got concussed, and Graham Mertz was not necessarily a downfield threat anyway. Quinn Ewers can do it all. Quinn Ewers can do it all. But get ready because there are journalists. Well, I wouldn't even say journalists. I'd say talking heads. And look, you're looking at my head talking right now, and you're thinking, fine. But there are a lot of talking heads out there that don't pay attention to college football on a week by week, day by day, hour by hour basis, who will be on TV on Monday morning on some of these talk shows screaming from a mountaintop that Arch Manning should start for Texas. Don't listen to him. Don't watch him. Don't give them a second thought because they probably haven't watched a Texas game, the ones that were in the playoff or in the Big 12 championship game in the last 3 years. They probably haven't watched one. Certainly don't know how good Quinn Ewers is. Get ready, it's happening. It is happening. It's happening quickly. It's going to happen a lot, and I guarantee you, Steve Sarkisian is going to have a moment where he loses it. And I'm not saying that Sarkisian has a temper. I know he doesn't. Well, he does at times, but this will get so frustrating. He has done a great job with Arch, Quinn, and handling all this nonsense. This is going to make it come to a head. But let's chill out. Arch is not starting quarterback. He had a great game. I don't care who it was against. He had a great game. That's awesome. Good for him. Good for Texas. Now they know he can play. Not Texas' starting quarterback. He is not Texas. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take a spin around the rest of the country. A lot went down. We're going to talk about all of it. This is college sports powered by on show brought to you by Factor. You don't know what Factor is? Well, you should because they provide great meals. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Thank you to the many chef-crafted meals with options like smart protein plus meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you start your healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals, more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this month with dietitian approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in just 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Head to factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50. The promo code LockedOnCollege50. Get percent off. Plus 20% off next month. That's code LockedOnCollege50 at factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50. You'll get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. All right, let's take a spin around the rest of the country, shall we? Talked about Notre Dame in the Open. Get right game for Riley Leonard. And the rest of the they needed this. They got this. Riley Leonard looked like the superstar that he was touted to be. Marcus Freeman's defense got the same performance. I think people forget that defense for Notre Dame was actually pretty good, right? That defense has been pretty solid all year. It looked like it against Purdue. They came out angry. They came out on a mission. And tell you what, get mad at me all you want. Still a college football team. I know they lost to Northern Illinois. That is still a college football playoff caliber team. When you have a defense like that and an offense that is capable of doing what it did, I know Purdue, opponent, whatever. But when your quarterback comes of age, Riley Leonard did that, you're putting yourself in a very good spot. Not saying they're making the playoff, but do not discount the possibility. LSU and South Carolina. Okay. I know folks will say, and I've kind of gotten the sense that there's some sort of hostility pent up against LSU. Look, they've got issues. That defense has massive issues. It was getting torched by Lenore Sellers. Now, Robbie Ashford came in. The offense did pretty much sputter out. I don't necessarily know if that was as much LSU as it was for Ashford. He had a couple that one moved sticks, but that's about it. But it's just Brian Kelly, they're just undisciplined. And I think that's what's wearing on people is that they're a very undisciplined football team. They had, 9 penalties. South Carolina had 12. Refs all over Columbia. The offensive line was, and this is gonna be a compliment, mediocre. That's being nice. And this is an offensive line that was considered one of the best, if not the best in college football going into the season. South Carolina, now look, Kennard, Dylan Stewart, those guys are great, but you gotta win some battles. They didn't win a lot. For LSU, it's a work in progress, but I don't see how there can be a ton of progress. That said, they got out of there with a win. It's a road win. They came back down, like, good for them. That's awesome. And I really, really hope Lenore Sellers gets better. Dude was awesome. He was incredible in that game. So the future's bright for South Carolina. Dylan Stewart's a freshman. Lenore Sellers, you put him in the system for multiple seasons, that's dangerous. But LSU got the job done. Now, the last game I want to talk about is Oregon, Oregon State. I wrote this on Outkick. I'd love for you guys to sort of go read it because in this day and age of the college football playoff, the 12-team playoff, you don't have to be at your best every single week, but you have to be able to fix it. And Oregon was not to use the same adjective, mediocre the first 2 weeks, squeaking by Idaho, needing a last-second field goal to beat Boise State. This was their get-right game. That team now is the kind of team that can win a national championship. If they play the way they did today at Oregon State, that might be the best team. And I say that you can say, "Oh, no, it is Oregon State." Do you understand what you're saying? If you say, "Well, they only played Oregon State," that's a pissed off Oregon State team in a rival that not only is mad about their current situation, but mad that Oregon left them in the dust and is going to be the richer program, and they're out there spinning their wheels. Defense is pretty good, and Oregon wore them out. How about those explosive plays? Did you know Oregon was 11th Big Ten explosive plays, 20 or more yards? Today. And one last thing before we get out of here, and I appreciate you guys staying up late. It's over for Billy Napier. It's over for Billy Napier. That the offensive lines regressed. They don't get pressure. They got blown out by a backup. Didn't even know he was starting until warm-ups. You got people leaving early. There are meetings happening. It's 11:52 at night. I would not be surprised if there have already been a couple of meetings because this program, like, think about where it was. Dan Mullen drove it into a dumpster. He was not very well liked, proved very well, and toward the end, I think people figured out what he wanted to do with his talent. Billy really hasn't started recruiting well until he got Lagway in last year's class, and even that was just sort of okay. That's not why he was brought in. He was brought in to build Alabama. He was brought in to build Georgia, to build Ohio State. And you do that through recruiting, and he's not doing anywhere close to that level. And at the same time, you see exactly what you've seen, them regress to a spot where they are the worst team in the SEC. Actually, I take that back. Second worst. Mississippi State is god awful. But I think he's gone. He might be gone by the time you watch this on Sunday morning. He might be gone during my Sirius XM show with Tom Luganbill on Sunday. The wheels are spinning because what happened against Texas A&M coming 2 weeks to Miami in the Swamp, important people aren't gonna have that. It's not gonna have that. That will do it for this edition. Very quick edition, like 25 minutes, and we're right at 25 minutes. So appreciate you guys checking out the show. If you want to catch up on other things in college football, go make a lot. Listen today. You've already out college smothered and covered. Go Locked On. Welcome. Great job over there, keeping you up to date on everything going on in our beautifully dysfunctional sport. We'll be back on Monday morning unless there is an emergency to address in the world of college football. Talk to you soon.